This is a fairly simple one, but I thought it was kind of intriguing. The headline here is Google may push sites to use encryption. So the question is, how is Google going to change, force sites to use encryption? Well, obviously, folks that are promoting things on websites would like their websites to show up high in the search results. Right. The higher they are, the higher the probability that somebody's going to actually look for it. Generally when I do a search on Google, I tend to get a list of maybe 500 pages, but I only really maybe look at the first 1 or 2 pages associated with it. So getting your search results high is pretty important. And so what they're considering here is the possibility of ranking sites higher if they have an encrypted interface. So that would tend to incentivize organizations that want to get their websites higher on the list to use encryption on their sites. Now, whether the encryption actually is going to improve things from a security standpoint is actually questionable. I recall a case some time ago where we were actually helping an organization mitigate a denial of service attack. And the fact that the site was encrypted made it significantly more difficult to identify the attack traffic versus the non-attack traffic. So the question becomes, do you really want encryption if your biggest objective for a particular site is for the purpose of reliability? There's certainly a point where if you're trying to do personal transactions or authenticate, that sort of thing, you want to be providing encryption and making sure that you're talking to the right site. But if it's just providing information, perhaps it's not quite as important. It's a trade-off. Yeah, I see you cringing here, Matt.
I have many thoughts on the topic. The first thing that comes to mind is, is this for major, huge sites, or if I'm just posting pictures of cute ducks for Easter?
That's exactly where
am I going to be negatively impacted because I'm not encrypting these pictures of cute ducks? If my site has no functionality that requires security of that type,
right.
Why should I be penalized if my neighbor next door is setting up, cryptoducks.com?
This may be, in fact, this exact type of thing that Google will be debating in the process of considering this. Is it really in the best benefit of the users of their service, that is, the users of the search engine, as opposed as inclusive of those that are, getting search results? And that you're exactly right. The question is encryption always the right solution? In security, the principles we talk about are confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And in some cases, availability is the most important thing, and in some cases, confidentiality or integrity are the most important things. They do present trade-offs. That is, confidentiality increases the probability that it's not going to be available for access. So there are trade-offs there, and we'll see how this comes out. It's an interesting topic.
One of the things I was wondering, and I didn't check out the article, but I could see, I guess what I'm wondering is are they saying HTTPS with a trusted signing certificate or just HTTPS in general? So if it is like a certificate that's been signed by someone, then you could almost trust that as being a little bit more valued, or I shouldn't say valued, but trustworthy of from a reputation standpoint, that it's probably legit. Because somebody else has already gone through the process of trying to legitimize that that trusted signer. But if it's not, and they're just saying HTTPS in general, then I'd kind of question that approach, because I could see tons of malware guys just throwing up some bogus certificate on their HTTPS site and throwing all kinds of search results to try to get their fake website that's encrypted above higher than a normal site that's not, and try to bump their results up into the.
That's interesting. SSL as SEO. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I have to admit, I don't know that detail, but we'll provide a reference to that article so folks can investigate that further. It's actually a very good point.